Welcome to the TrustBuilder Podcast, where we take some of the most difficult questions around trust and we dive into them. And it doesn't mean that we have all the answers or we're perfect at it. But I have with me today Brad Williams, and I'm Scott Linklater, and thanks for joining us. Today, Brad, we are going to, and we just get these right before, so we got the question, trust and the power of encouragement. Trust and the power of encouragement. So there's two questions on here.
Yeah.
And literally right before this, we decided who would ask what. So
yeah, I'm going to ask
me.
Yeah,
okay.
I'll ask you.
Let's
here we go.
Okay.
All right. So here's our first question, which, by the way, like Scott said, we're just hoping that this is a conversation starter, helps you dig a little deeper. If you're a leader someplace, we hope this helps you lead. If you're a manager, helps you manage. If you're an employee, helps you be a better employee.
Yeah.
A spouse, a better spouse,
better friend,
all these things, we want to help you out. That's kind of the idea behind this. So here it is. Question number one, does encouragement, and this is tough. Okay. This is a tough question. I read it literally seconds before we started and I was like, whoa, this is a big one. Does encouragement build trust faster than achievement together?
Does encouragement build trust faster than achievement together? Okay, so I think I have some thoughts on this one, right? So what's interesting about this is encouragement. So two of the builders that we have as trust builders as part of our framework is being positive and also being supportive of another person. And that kind of leads itself to encouragement, which are connection builders. So connection is building trust through relationships, being there for a person in that area of relationships, care, respect, being positive, encouraging, supportive, things like that. So this is a connection-based question. Results are action-based trust building.
Right.
And so I think when you think of the three areas that we build trust with are action, insight, and connection.
Yes.
The idea of encouragement is really a connection sort of builder, whereas achievement is an action builder. If I say that encouragement builds trust faster than achievement, those people that are action-based trust builders out there are going to be like, yeah, okay, pal, yeah, that's all fluff, all hat, no cattle, right? Is what people will talk about. The other end of the spectrum is the people that are connection-based people out there go, yeah, if you get an achievement, but you crush people along the way, that's not good either, right? And so I think that when you think of does encouragement build trust faster than achievement, I think it matters who you're building trust with.
Right. Gosh, we come back to this all the time.
It does.
It comes back to the individual profile. Like it comes back to like, how is that person wired? Right.
Now, I think in general, if you have so we do a lot of research. So at TrustBuilder, we're a research and consulting firm, but we do large scale research projects on trust levels in large populations.
Yeah.
And I can say with a high level of certainty that action, getting things done and achieving things, insight, sharing information and expertise and advising, and connection, being there for someone in the area of respect and care and personal relationships.
Transparency. Vulnerability. Yep.
To some degree, all of those matter to people, those three areas. It just matters which one is most important. If you're a company, though, trying to build trust with a large group of people, you're going to have to focus on all three of these areas. If you're building trust with an individual, likely one of these is going to matter more than the other. So how do you know, does encouragement build trust faster than achievement, or flip-flop, does achievement build trust faster than encouragement? It comes down to, are you willing to know the person you're building trust with and prioritize what matters most to them versus what matters most to you? So my preference might be achievement, whereas your preference might be encouragement. I need to value probably both of those, but for you, encouragement's going to matter.
Yeah.
So I need to prioritize being supportive and positive in that environment if I expect to build long-term trust with you.
Yeah.
Is something that comes to mind. So does encouragement build trust faster than achievement? And it depends on the person you're building trust with.
It really does, and I'm thinking about this. I'm even thinking about my own experience. And as you know, I'm a connection person. So the natural inclination would be to say, okay, well, because of that, then Brad's going to be someone that leans towards encouragement, building trust faster than achievement. But simultaneously, I have spent my life doing really random things, 24-hour mountain bike races, climbing mountains like Kilimanjaro, Mount Adams, different things. I'm always biting off these things. And I do all those things with people. Mm-hmm. And so as you're talking just now, I'm thinking, so which one do I trust people who are really positive and encouraging towards me, or do I trust the people that I've done crazy accomplishments with? And that's a really tough thing to wrap my brain around, because I do have a really deep level of trust for those people that I've done some of that stuff with. Like, I just know I know we can do this and we've survived.
Were they encouring it relatively?
Well, see, that's what I was thinking of. While you
were
were saying that, I was thinking about a friend of mine named Scott Martin. I've done a lot of this crazy stuff with Scott. He's a CPA here in Spokane. And Scott, so many times we'd be doing something. He'd say, you're a beast, Brad Williams. You're an animal. He would like say these things like we're climbing, I'm trudging through something, you know, and there was this encouragement. And I was just contrasting and thinking about this. I climbed Kilimanjaro. He wasn't on the trip. It was one of the hardest climbs I've ever done. I mean, at one point coming down, I kind of broke a little bit. And the people I was with, everybody was just sort of like grinding. And I thought, man, I don't have Scott's voice in behind me going, you got this. He always says, you got this, Brad Williams, you got this. He would always say that to me. And so it's interesting that while I trust the people I climbed Kilimanjaro with, I trust Scott a little bit more, I think. Mm-hmm. And part of it's that he's just been encouraging.
The encouragement. Yeah.
And so it's fired me up.
The achievement alone doesn't make it. So I'll tell a story too. So I enjoy boxing. I've always enjoyed boxing. I'm a little older now, so I don't really box anymore.
Yeah.
Plus, I use my brain to make money versus my hands in terms of boxing. But I in college especially, and when I got to Spokane, I started going to the Spokane boxing gym. And there's a guy in there named Rick Welliver who is like the local boxing coach. He's in the newspaper. He's a great guy. Just enjoy being around him. It's a lot of fun. I didn't know him then, and so I go into his boxing gym. And I'm in his and I looked up online and it said it opened at, like 3:00. And this is not where the current location of that boxing gym is, but it's a different one. And so this location, it opened at, let's say 4, and it has a long dark stairway that goes up to a second level. And then there's boxing gym up there, ring and everything else. So I show up at like 4 and I walk up the stairs and there's nobody there yet. Right. But it's obviously open.
Yeah.
And so I walk back down the stairs and I'm sitting in this dark stairwell. It's because the gym's on the second level, and the dark stairwell and goes right. The door opens right to the street. It's very sunny outside, but it's very dark in the stairwell. So I sit down in the stairwell and I'm texting what I think is the number, what I think is Rick Welliver. And I'm sitting there texting, and so there's a little blue light on my face. And open the door swings open, right, really strongly. And I see the silhouette because I can't really see him in the dark, and he's in the light. And the door swings open. I kind of startle, and I stand like this, and he goes, "Who are you?" And I said, "Oh, I'm nobody. I'm just here to check out the boxing gym." He goes, "You're not nobody. You're somebody." And he gives me this like speech, and I'm like,
I love it.
And his level of encouragement for people, and he's a tough love guy too, but his level of encouragement in that case produced or helps produce achievement,
right?
And particularly amongst young boxers, you can see that encouragement for him helps lead people towards achievement. To your point, I feel like encouragement in that relationship, and for I've gotten to know him better over the years. That is something that he does, but he does for the purpose of achievement.
Yeah.
So I'm here for you to achieve, and I'm going to use encouragement. Now he's not always like just uber positive and things like that, but he is encouraging, and he's specifically encouraging towards achievement. And I just remember that day he goes, "You're not nobody, you're somebody." And I was like, I am somebody. I'm ready to go, and this encouragement caused me then to be committed there till I hurt myself. Man, be committed there for years.
And it's interesting you say that, and I'm listening to you say it, and I realize this, and that's that achievement for me. I'm just going to speak from my own perspective. For me, achievement on its own just doesn't create the trust, because there's oftentimes I've been a part of things where we achieve stuff and nobody took the moment to look back and go, "Look what we did.
Yeah,
look what we just did together." When you stop and do that and say, "Man, look what we just did. Like that was incredible." Then there's this sense of that achievement builds trust. Like, yeah, we did. But if you're around a group of people athletically, organizationally, and you achieve things and you just blow and go, you just go, "Okay, well, we're done. We're going to keep moving on. We're going to keep plowing forward. And what's the next thing? What's the next thing?" Mm-hmm. I actually, my experience is that actually eventually will erode trust. It's like, well, I don't care how many mountains we climb. We never stop to appreciate the last one. So at some point it's like, man, are we just going to keep doing this? Are we just going to keep achieving, and we're never going to stop and celebrate the win? We're never going to encourage. So I would say, I guess, as I listen to tandem, you answer, they're in tandem. I think they do work together. And I think some people maybe lean one way or the other a little bit more, but I think they're both really important.
Yeah. And so when we look at people, I think getting to know people and then being there for them in the ways that matter. For some people, they don't need as much encouragement. And some people will tell you that, "Hey, quit being so damn positive," right? You know what I mean? I need some fire. But sometimes when they tell you that, then you want to honor that too. And,
right.
And and that's a unique thing for some people, but I think for a lot of us, working in tandem there, because if you just achieve without encouragement, you can see championship teams and people that achieved a lot hate each other later in life. Or if you just encourage and you don't achieve, then people are looking around and go, yeah, it's nice. They're cool to hang out with, but we lose all the time.
Right.
We're not good as an organization. We're not good as a sports team. We're not good as a group. And so I think that in my mind, those, they kind of work. They kind of work in tandem, don't they?
I just think encouragement I think it's a really important part. Yeah.
Well, then let's ask question number 2.
Okay. Fire away.
Can too much encouragement backfire when it feels fake or patronizing? Can too much encouragement backfire where it feels fake or patronizing?
Yeah. So, I think that there can be sort of a toxic optimism at times.
Oh man. True story.
Yeah. I think there can be toxic optimism.
But what does that mean? Define toxic optimism for someone who hears that word and goes, oh my gosh, what is that?
Well, I would say that, in order to get things done, there has to be sort of a realistic optimism about things. Oftentimes we talk about the life cycle of an organization. We kind of begin that organization with unrealistic optimism.
Mm-hmm.
We start out and everything is like pie in the sky. Man, we are going to be the most successful company ever. We're going to be great. In 6 to 8 months, we're going to be, raking in millions, whatever, And then what happens is you start having, the reality set in. And so typically what takes place in this kind of downward spiral, eventually you'll reach a place of what I like to call unrealistic, like pessimism, right?
Yeah.
Like there's
the sky is now falling.
Now everything's horrible, right?
Yeah.
It's like we go from unrealistic optimism to now this unrealistic pessimism where we're never going to make it. We're never going to get here, which by the way, that's the point where most people quit.
Yeah.
They go, we're never going to do it. We're never going to do it. And then you kind of move through this, what I would call valley of despair. You kind of move through this place where it's like really, really rough. If you stick in the game, you stay in the game, you grind through it, you kind of come out the other side. And when you come out the other side, now you have a realistic perspective of what it's going to take to be successful. And you go, okay, this is never going to be as easy as we thought when we were beginning. I know what it's going to take. I've been through the hard stuff and now I know I got to grind. We call that realistic optimism, right? Mm-hmm. I think there's a toxic optimism where you never admit how hard it's going to be. You just keep pie in the sky, pie in the sky, pie in the sky. And if you're down in the bottom and you're in the trenches and somebody's coming along and saying, no, you got this. It's easy. Come on. You just keep doing it. Or, there's people on Instagram and you're just watching these business leaders just tell you, no, all you need to do is three simple steps. And eventually you listen to all this positivity and you go, you're not connected to reality.
Yeah.
And as soon as you start to disassociate those people with your reality, now that becomes toxic. That becomes, you don't want to listen to them.
Yeah.
I think it actually becomes a negative. And so I think that happens as leaders. I think you have to at some point stop and acknowledge and say, guys, this is going to be hard.
Yeah. They like that. So I think of it, you're saying like, I've certainly had at times immature optimism. Immature optimism about because it's misinformed optimism of like, you don't know what it's going to cost to do this thing. Now that could be like losing weight or running a marathon or starting a business. I mean, starting TrustBuilder, there was absolutely times, particularly in the beginning, where we had unrealistic optimism. And then there's a point of like, whoa, are we going to make it as a company?
Yeah.
And then to your point, that's also where the good stuff happens. Like you push through that and you keep putting one foot in front of the other. That allows you to then create a resiliency inside of you that you didn't even know you had, right?
Yeah.
But that also requires you to deal with stuff that you didn't think you had.
Right.
Like I didn't know I had this problem until I got to this point, and then like, oh my God, holy crap, I got to deal with this thing. And that could be a skill set thing. It could be an attitude thing.
Right.
I think that's some of the hardest parts because encouragement can, I think, sometimes mask.
Right.
Like we can mask the thing that needs to be dealt with. Right.
Yeah.
Versus actually dealing with it.
Yeah. I think for me, obviously, and we've already touched on this. I like encouragement. I like it. I mean, I feed off of it. Encourage me.
Great job, Brad.
Yeah. Tell me I'm doing a good job. Tell me, hey, you're in a good spot. Hey, we like what you're doing. That actually goes a really long ways for me. But when I'm down in the dumps, and I'm struggling or I'm at a point where I'm frustrated and now you say, no, you got this, man. Come on. You're fine. You're fine. And you just start saying that. It's like, no, like at some point now I'm going to quit listening to you because you're not connected to my reality.
You don't know what you're talking about.
Yep. You have a blind spot. You don't know what it's like. You don't know how I feel. And as soon as, and we've talked about how trust is being there in the ways that mean the most to that person, right? Mm-hmm. Well, if you're encouraging me and there's a dissonance between what I'm actually experiencing, now you lose credibility with me. Right.
Yeah. Yeah.
So I'm feeling horrible and you're just like pumping me with sunshine. We say blowing sunshine up certain places, right? We have these phrases to describe that because when you're on the receiving end of that and there's this disconnect, then you lose your credibility. And so I think there is something about well-timed encouragement and informed encouragement, and even encouragement that takes the current situation into consideration. I'm assessing this situation. Scott, I'm watching you right now. It looks like you're having a hard time. I understand the information that you're taking in right now. It's very complicated for you. I know this job that you just took. I know the learning curve is steep. I want you to know, even while you're learning, you're doing a good job.
Yeah.
You're doing a good job. You're figuring this out. You've done a good job of navigating this. When someone says something like that means something different. Like, man, Scott, you're knocking it out of the park, dude. I can't believe how successful you are. And you're like, I don't feel successful. I can't pay my bills.
Yeah.
You know, it's like I just borrowed money from my mom. You know, it's like, I don't feel successful right now. But you know, I think when you phrase that in a way, or you give that encouragement in the context of the hardship, I think that can be very meaningful.
So, this is just sparks something that has literally changed my life in the last handful of years as I've really
is it listening to what I tell you to do? Is that it?
Obviously there's that. Like just note to self, what would Brad do?
Yes.
WWBD. WWBD.
Yeah.
And so this has literally changed my life, how I've interacted as we've studied trust for years and done all the background work. And then we start to apply it, to ourselves, and we begin to live in this framework. So we see trust as a combination of action, insight, and connection.
Yeah.
When someone's in a troubling time, and I think about the conversation I've had with my kids or my wife's had with me, it's so easy to jump to conclusions of what we think they need. Oh. And so when someone's struggling, it's easy to go, I'm going to fix it for you, which is an action. Or I'm going to give you advice, which is an insight.
Yeah.
Or I'm going to stand on the sideline and encourage you, which is a connection. Now, what's interesting in all three of those things, we decided versus asking them, is this a situation where you want me to listen and just be there for you? Do you want my advice, or can I help you with something specifically to be successful?
Yeah.
If I go in and I'm telling you, folks listening, use this framework. And next time you're thinking of a conflict situation or something to help someone, ask them, do you need me to do something for you? Do you need my advice? You want me to just be there and listen? A lot of times people just want you to hear them and know them, right, which is an act of encouragement and being supportive and positive. Is just be there for them in that way, not the way that I want to. I want to go in and fix it, especially with my kids. It's like, let me just do it for you. Dad, I don't want you to do it for me.
Right.
But let me just give you my advice. I don't want your advice.
Right.
What do you need from me? I want your love and encouragement, support.
That's funny you say
positive,
that. Man. I learned I have adult children, 27, 25, 22.
Probably more adult than you are sometimes.
Yeah, actually, there's no doubt about that. Because they're girls, and girls just grow up faster. True. Like a 27-year-old woman is more mature than a 51-year-old man. That's for sure.
It's fact.
But I made a decision as they entered adulthood that I would not offer my kids unsolicited advice, right? So there's no insights coming from me unless they ask. So you want to know something? You have to ask me. Other than that, I'm going to encourage you. I'm just going to be positive. Hey, great job. Love what you're doing there. I think I think encouragement goes a really long ways, especially in a parenting scenario. Like we don't dip into the parenting side of TrustBuilder very often, but you want to build trust with your kids. I think, encouragement is huge. Insights can feel like nitpicking and nagging to a kid.
Unless sometimes literally they'll come, like my son will come to me, or one of my sons will come to me and go, I'm having problem with my brakes.
Yeah. Yeah.
They want insight.
Yeah.
Or they want action.
I don't know what to do.
They don't want me just to go, you got it, buddy.
You got this. You got this.
I need to know how to fix my brakes. You know what I mean? And so reading the situation and the person becomes so paramount in this idea of encouragement. Encouragement is probably never going to cause a problem unless that's all we do.
Right.
Like, you know what I mean? Where we're not willing to, because I know, like with you and your girls, you're willing to help them.
Oh,
like you would bend over backwards.
I got a call from my daughter last night. She's sitting on a plane. Got delayed. It was delayed. Then she sat on the plane and got delayed. She's going to miss her connection when she gets to Seattle, and this whole thing. And she's like, Dad, when I get off the plane, she's on the plane. She's like, I'm so tired. What do I need to do?
And I asked,
yeah, what do you need to do? I said, you're doing great. I know you're tired. I know it's been a long day.
And connection and encouragement.
Yep, I did. Literally, that's what I said. You're doing great. I know you're tired. When you get off the plane, I need you to go to the gate counter. I need you to tell them that there was a mechanical problem prior to the weather delay. And I need you to tell them that you need a voucher for a hotel. That's what you need to go do. Yeah, insight. I couldn't, and I said, if that doesn't happen, we'll get you a hotel. We'll figure something out if they don't do it. Action, right? Yeah. And in that meantime, my oldest daughter had taken care of it for her. And when she didn't get the voucher, my oldest daughter had already got her a hotel room and said, I got you covered. Go get on the shuttle and get there and get 5 hours of sleep before you get your flight. But I just think it's interesting because it plays out that way. It was positive, encouraging. Hey, you got this. I know you're tired. And then it's, here's what you got to do. Because she's like, what do I do? Here's what you got to do. You know, I think that's so critical. So I think balancing those things. I think I think encouragement. And here's just the reality, and that's that most people are living in a desert as it relates to encouragement. So as much as I say, hey, there can be a disconnected encouragement. As a leader, if you're out there, if you're an employer, if you're a boss, a manager, don't make the assumption that your encouragement is gonna fall on deaf ears. Most people are walking through a desert. They're not getting encouraged. They're actually getting the opposite of that. In fact, you reference the Gottmans very frequently in our research, and we talk to different clients and organizations about this. But they've identified the positive to negative ratio, right? There's a secret ratio. It's 5 to 1, positive to negative inputs in your day that allow you to interpret a relationship as being a healthy or positive one. So I think as managers or managers or leaders to realize like it takes 5 encouragements for every 1 correction for the symbiosis, if you will, or for the relationship to stay. It's
like a recipe. Yes. Like a cake. If you do 5-part eggs and 1 part flour, you're going to end up with a crepe.
And I've often said,
not a cake.
And I've often said, if you're in a neutral space and you're saying something neutral to somebody, if they've had a bad day on their way to work, whatever you said, even if it was neutral, they interpret it as negative. And so you're already in a deficit as you do that. So I would say it's probably far more important to err on the side of encouragement than to try to walk that fine line. Am I encouraging you too much? Like,
am I being too cool, too nice, too encouraging, too positive?
Actually, I need you to quit being so nice to me all the time and telling me how good I am. I just think be as encouraging as you can, but also be aware and connect that encouragement to reality.
That's right.
That's what I would say.
Well, hey, you're not nobody, you're somebody. And so as we end up the show today, thanks for the encouragement and the discussion around encouragement.
You're doing a great job with this, Scott.
You're doing a great job too, Brad.
Yeah, appreciate it.
Yeah. And so we have encouragement going back and forth. Encourage people around you. If you have questions you want us to address or answer or try to answer or at least attempt to, please send those in. Outside of that, thanks, Brad, for another great discussion today. We'll see you next time.